morning. I'm going to check up on the guest.
Good morning, Dr. Nelson.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. A beautiful day. What did we do special last night, Dr. Nelson?
Oh, we watched the cholesterol code. Very, very interesting, very good. Recommended. Go and watch it wherever you can. Soon.
Do we have a showing that you're going to be at coming up?
Yes, in exactly 29 days. May 6th in Orlando.
But something's happening on April 17th that we're going to make sure we highlight closer and closer, which is going to be the Amazon release of the cholesterol code by Dave Feldman and others. But what he did is to me a Oscar-winning performance, and it really is. You think it's just cholesterol, but he just slammed it out of the park and beyond. And we're going to highly recommend. There are showings around the country, which I think you could go to cholesterolcodemovie.com.
I'll find it right now.
And find it, and we'll put that up. But we're going to keep on sharing, and I'm hoping other people that were there yesterday in St. Petersburg, Florida, with Susie Switch, Dr. Ovadia, Stay Off My Table, and Dave Feldman was there, and so many other people. It was sold out, which was really, really spectacular. And the stories that were told. Our good friend Scott was there, and many others were there. So we got Katie and Daniel here today.
Yay.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, Dave, where are you guys at?
We are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are we got vegans on again, Alia?
I don't think so. I'll never live that one down.
They eat vegans. It's processed plants, which is basically a cow that processes the plant and makes it meat. So, how are you guys today?
We're doing well.
We're doing great.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we welcome you here. Real quick, Dr. Nelson, do we have any other important tasks to share with our listeners this morning and all day long?
So this weekend, Dr. Kiltz and I will be in Long Island on the 11th. And then we're going to have a whole day experience on the 12th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, go to KiltzMeatup.com and come spend the day with us.
Awesome. That's going to be great. I'm going to be there, so I'm excited to meet people and hang out. And Ollie, do you have anything that you need to make sure we get out start, or let's get Katie and Daniel Burke going?
Let's get Katie and Daniel Burke going.
All right. Are we all sharing the little bean broth?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Not yet.
Not yet. I was off bean broth for about 2.5 years, but I'm back enjoying it. And I got a 5-day fast coming up on Wednesday. So anyone wants to join me for that. And I know Dr. Nelson and I did 15. And
Wait, 5 days?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, maybe.
Saturday.
Okay, maybe 3 days. All right. Wait until Sunday. All right. I'll wait till Sunday. I'll do it next week. That'll be good because I don't want to mess it up. But Katie and Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into this crazy world of keto or carnivore and sharing your story?
We started doing keto 4 or 5 years ago. We got into it. We were trying to have a baby. We still are, but we lived in New York City for a while, and we played around with a bunch of different diet and lifestyles. We went to we did Whole30 first, and then transitioned into keto, and we did that for a while, had great results, but I just think in keto we weren't eating enough protein. And then Daniel actually found you, Dr. Kiltz, and he came home and he's always trying something new, and he's like, I think I'm just going to eat meat. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. This is absolutely insane. I'm not signing on board for this. And then
that's when I knew everything was going to be fine.
Yeah, she's fighting it. Isn't that normal?
Well, it's great. It's just crazy. And then 2 years ago, probably, was it you?
What?
That we
Carnivore?
we did carnivore for the first time. I was on Clomid. My body did not react well to Clomid. It kind of messed up my cycle. And then we're coming off of Clomid, we jumped right into carnivore, and it like regulated my cycle right away, and felt really good. And it just, for weight loss, really snatches you up pretty quickly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what other things have you found beneficial in switching from keto to carnivore that you didn't realize was going to happen?
Just for practicality's sake, a diet is only as good as you can maintain it. So the shopping list being simpler is actually better when you have one option. At least for us, when you have one option or two or three, it's better than being able to make up gourmet meals and recipes. It's much easier to stick to, I think, this way.
Yeah, I would say also, like a hot topic right now is food noise, like not having food noise. And I would say that going carnivore completely cut like my sugar cravings out. I don't think about food because you really, when we started, there was no weighing or counting calories or anything. It was just eat until you're full. Well, meat is so satiating. Like we'll go buy ribeyes and we'll be grilling ribeyes. And we're like, we're so hungry. There's no way this will fill us up. And then getting through splitting half of one, we're like, we're good. So that's pretty crazy.
It is very radical. And so when you said your cycles became regular, tell us a little bit about how irregular they were and how it's like, whoa, they're normal now.
Yeah, whenever I got off of birth control, I was like spotting, well, even on it, I was like spotting a lot during it. I always was uncomfortable throughout my cycle. And then when we did Clomid, I have PCOS, so I got a lot of follicles, but just they never were mature enough. So they ended up, I'm pretty regular now, like 31 days to the max. I know it's like I can feel every part of my cycle, which is pretty incredible.
You've done Clomid. How many cycles of Clomid have you done?
We did 3 months of Clomid.
And can I dig deeper into, did you do anything else besides the Clomid?
Yeah, so we're doing IVF now. We did an egg retrieval. I did babies super strict going into our egg retrieval, and I got 88 eggs with 90% of them mature.
Oh, well, what was babies? What is babies?
Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, ice cream, and salt.
And so was everyone shocked
that I got 88 eggs in your facility? Yes, very shocked. Because we got so many, Dr. Kiltz, there was a girl coming out of the egg retrieval because I had so many. I was pretty uncomfortable with that many eggs. This girl comes out, she has her hair curled. She was so excited. They got 10 eggs. I was not feeling well. And I said, did you just get an egg retrieval? And she's like, yes. And I go, so you felt better afterwards? And I was like, that's it. I'm going to feel better afterwards. I woke up and they were like, you have the second most eggs we've ever seen in this clinic. And then the question was, well, I have so many, probably a lot of them won't be mature. And then like as soon 10 minutes after waking up, they said over 90% of them were mature, which was
Wild.
wild.
So what
Yeah.
causes PCOS? And maybe if Katie and Dan don't plug in there, I see Dr. Nelson already smiling.
What causes PCOS? So
Yeah. What does PCOS stand for?
polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Really, Dr. Kiltz?
Cystic.
Is that-
Well, I need
Is that right?
Dr. Nelson. Is that right?
Kind of plant-caused ovarian sickness.
I mean, isn't it so like stupidly simple? But how many doctors correlated your diet with PCOS?
None of them, no.
And in general, what diets did your previous doctors or healthcare professionals lead you to?
A diet doesn't matter. So your diet has nothing to do with your health before I got to you. So
Right.
Yeah.
And so what's who's the pooch there?
Oh, this is our buddy Filson.
uh,
He's having a hard time not being in frame.
yeah, they're big fans of us doing carnivore.
Yeah. Well, so kibble. Do you ever had you ever fed your dog or cat this food they call kibble, which is kind of the chunky hard stuff that is dry and they put in a bowl for our dogs and cats?
It's the standard American diet for dogs. Yeah.
Right. The standard American diet for dogs. And ultimately, isn't that we have been fed kibble? And that's all it is. And where'd you guys grow up?
I grew up in Pittsburgh.
I grew up just outside of Baltimore.
And what type of diet did you consume as a child?
Hot dogs, mac and cheese, spaghetti.
And
Same here.
Yeah, same.
and when your menstrual cycles began, were they normal and monthly? Were they without pain?
So I've never had extremely painful cycles, but we both moved to New York. I moved to New York when I was 18, so you kind of get immersed in like a healthier food culture. So I never had painful cycles, but my AMH is pretty high. So it actually took a while for anyone to even diagnose me with like PCOS because no one would run. I did have cysts like in my later 20s.
You did.
I did have cysts, but no one would diagnose me and they would rupture and it was so painful and everyone was like, oh, it's your gallbladder, it's your appendix. Then we would get to the hospital and was another cyst. So then I think after the cyst ruptures, then we kind of really dialed in our diet because it was something that
It was scary. You didn't know what it was.
yeah, you don't know what it is, and they just send you right to the ER because it's right in the general area of 5 other things. So even though I knew I had them before, they're still giving you that hospital bill.
How common are ovarian cysts and PCOS? Do we know that answer, Dr. Nelson? And do you have any other friends or family members that sort of said, "Oh, I had that," or was that something at all?
No, all the women on my mother's side have cysts.
Wow.
Like but there was they were, from like what I've been told growing up is that we're just cystic people, that just like happens and there's like nothing you can really do to prevent it or lower it or anything.
Does cereal cause cysts?
What a question.
Are you asking me?
Well, I don't know everyone listening, but is it possible? The goitrogens, a goiter is a damaged thyroid gland, and there are goitrogenic foods. I don't know if we have a slide to show Dr. Nelson or Alia to show the goitrogenic foods, but they're all the plants. And so, what if they're tumorgenic and cyst producing foods, which all come from plants,
Plants.
Yeah.
which is the healthiest diet we're told to eat, aren't we? And did you ever have challenges with, I'm use the word maintaining your weight or losing weight?
I would say I had challenge. I would have cycles where I fluctuated with weight, but it's always not eating enough. And I know that that's come from not having enough protein. Like I would have really bad reactions, but whenever you're not having enough protein, I would just eat a ton. I mean, I went vegetarian for Lent for about 3 days, and I swear I gained 10 pounds in those 3 days because all I was eating was carbs. I'm like, this is not for me. Like I couldn't even make it the first week, but that's what I thought was the healthy thing to do at the time, you know?
When you say protein, are you meaning meat? Because when we use the word protein, I'm just curious what we mean by that.
No, I mean meat. I mean
Meat.
meat, not
Okay.
beans, not tofu. I mean meat.
Right. So when you eat meat, is it generally really lean or is it generally fattier?
Now it's fattier. Before it was lean.
So is it possible that it's actually the fat that was missing from the diet?
Probably. Yeah, because I think in my 20s I was trying to have the least amount of fat as possible because that was low fat everything.
Right. So in fact, the low fat paradigm is actually the biggest killer and the biggest problem. Oh, so that was the goitrogenic slide, which are the goitrogens, which are the known foods that cause damage to the thyroid gland. What if those same foods damage every single cell and organ system of our body, but we label them as organic and healthy? And so you're laden with PCOS and infertility, right? But now, birth control. Let's get that off the slide. Thanks, Alia. Birth control. What does that kind of sentence or that statement even connect with, right? You're taking birth control pills. Who made a birth control pill?
I have no idea.
Well, why would we give pills out to control people's birth rates?
Population's too high.
Population.
You got a thumbs up there.
People control. And ultimately, where did the first birth control pill come from?
Plants.
Plants. Potatoes, yams out of Mexico. And so they're medicinal to control the populace through bread and beer. And it causes PCOS, endometriosis, infertility, miscarriage, and more. And the answer is, what's the answer to most causes of disease, Dr. Nelson?
Inflammation.
That's the one we say. But what are most idiopathic? An idiopathic, which means I don't know.
We don't know, yes.
Or we doctors are
Idiots.
So how have you shared the message of what you're doing with others? And do you think this is all an important message that we need to be sharing with our brothers and sisters and our children's children?
Yeah, I think we do, but I think people are pretty committed to eating how they would like to eat until there's a real catastrophe medically. So it's not.
Yeah.
This lends itself to being perceived as very extreme, and I think that you have to have an extreme issue to see it the other way. So it's I mean, luckily it's a bit on trend right now, but it's not an easy sell, I would say. Oreos are too good, you know.
Well, yeah, Nick Norwitz in the movie Cholesterol Code was shoving down 12 Oreos a day to prove that Oreos will lower your LDL cholesterol better than a statin. which it was a little hysterical. But so would you say that all men and women probably would benefit from a baby's diet or a carnivore centric diet? And that's such an important thing that we should all think about.
Yeah, I absolutely do. And it really, from what I mean, it's a hot topic now, all these weight loss drugs or the drugs that we're misusing to be weight loss drugs, that all of the benefits that people talk about are the same things that we've experienced doing carnivore without putting something that we didn't know in our body, like the food noise, the no sugar cravings. Like we don't think about food. You're just like, oh, and then when you think about it, you're like, okay, I have two options, like beef or eggs. And you're really listening to your body of what it needs when you're hungry. I will say though, I did want to say that the thing that I struggled with at first and sometimes still do is that to make sure that you're eating like enough of it. Because sometimes you can go into like a fasted, like I could go fasted and not have enough nutrition, I think. And I think it's really important to make sure that you're eating enough. So I feel like summer is the best time to start it when you have the grill, because there's nothing better than a ribeye on the grill. So on charcoal grill, like that is so good. And I think people don't want to start it because of inconvenience, but we found that it's really easy to go to a restaurant and still be social, and you can get red meat. I mean, I've never been to a vegan restaurant in my life. So like pretty much anywhere you could get something that you don't have to totally derail yourself, and you can still be in your family's company, And I think that's another really big thing when people don't want to start something that could improve their life forever, is that, well, I have this coming up and this coming up, but really there's no excuse for it because there are options everywhere.
So what is your standard diet and practice every day or most days, food-wise?
Food-wise, when we're home, we really have meat, like red meat. I don't cook a lot of chicken. No.
It's a little bit different between the two of us. I like to fast. I don't like to eat until like 2 p.m. That's normal for me. It's not really like pushing the envelope. Kate likes to eat a little sooner, so that means that most evenings are grilling, and then we'll eat dinner, and then those leftovers will feed Kate when she eats in the morning, and then I'll grill again when I need some more steak.
And do you find yourself, you said something about satiated quickly and easily. It's almost like it's stupidly simple. There's no measurement or weighing or macros. And tell us a little bit about your experience on just like, this is stupidly simple.
What we'll do is we'll take 2 ribeyes off the grill. We'll put them on a cutting board. We'll chop them up, and then we'll put that cutting board on the table.
Yeah, we don't even put it on plates.
And we'll eat it with our hands until we're done, and then we'll wash that cutting board.
Yeah.
And we're both very full.
Are you?
I muted Dr. Nelson. I muted you because I'm hearing feedback from your earpiece.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Nelson.
Okay, that's all right. And so I'm getting back to this term, like eating enough. Isn't it you find when you eat carnivore, you're like, you don't even have to think about it. You eat till you're full and you're done, and that's all you need. Would you recommend staying this way while you're pregnant and breastfeeding?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. We were pregnant in the fall, and then we lost that baby, and it was hard to stay on. I did have real meat aversions, which I did not think what happened to me, and I was pretty disappointed. Pretty disappointed happened to me because I really thought everybody was making it up, but it was really hard for me to eat. It was really hard for me to eat red meat. I had a lot of eggs, but and salmon, but just the first couple weeks it was difficult to power through. But that being said, there really is a difference between ground beef and ribeye, and it was like in the middle of winter, so we kind of swap it out to have a little more ground beef just because it's easier to cook. So when we got back on the ribeyes,
Was it a ribeye version or a ground beef version?
I think maybe it was the ground beef version.
Let's say it was that.
So it was more the texture, huh?
Yeah, it was the texture of it. Do you find that, Dr. Kiltz, that women that do babies or do strict carnivore when they are pregnant, is it easier for them to stick through, or do they have in the first trimester? Because I was trying to read about that and how to.
Well, I think first trimester, this aversion is aversion to eating food.
Yeah.
Protect your baby. And think about evolutionarily speaking, 50,000 years ago, you were telling Mr. Caveman to go get you some crackers to eat because you needed to eat. When in fact, all you ate was fatty, rare to raw meat. And so
Yeah.
he said, you know what? I've been hyperphagic before pregnancy in that time of year to get fat, fertile, and pregnant. And now I'm pregnant in the first trimester. You have plenty of fat, which is the only fuel and building block for every single cell and baby building molecule of the body. And so it's simply because it was likely that even then, the first trimester was a time of implantation and placentation, but it got disrupted by potentially some of the toxins or the microbes that came with some of the food we ate. And so the body is like, okay, fasting is the most important thing. You didn't have crackers.
Yeah.
You didn't have cereal. You didn't have snacks. You were like in a cave, and Mr. Caveman is out hunting for a week. What did you have for food?
Nothing.
The fat of your body.
Yeah.
We get fat to be fertile and to fuel and feed every cell of your body and create your babies. And so we have a complicated nutritional science that says you better eat 3 or 4 times a day because you're feeding another one, right?
Yeah.
But
You're eating for 2.
But right on. But actually your body says don't do that. So now, how often do you eat fatty raw meat?
Raw meat?
Yes. Never, right?
Never.
But what if it was dry,
You said not yet?
Not
Oh.
ever, yeah.
dry aged and you simply cut a piece and you chewed it? And then the minerals, vitamins, the amino acid, sugars, and fats are melting and basically easily being ingested, digested, and metabolized. But we don't have that. Plus, we're all afraid of eating raw meat, aren't we?
Yeah.
But which is likely the most masterful book ever written, Alia?
The Bible.
Second
No.
one.
Yeah.
You know, it's
He's right.
carnivore. You
No,
know, oh.
there's cats. Yeah. Yes, but you're right. The Bible. Because Katie and Dan, so what scientific journal did you read to learn this and talk to all these expert doctors that said, yes, carnivore is the way to eat?
Scientific journal? No journal. Right. But YouTube is the portal into these types of things, I think, for a lot of people. So I think my theory is that all of the things that we're going to cure that have been sticking points for many decades or hundreds of years are going to be cured, like people such as yourself, who find their distribution on YouTube and social media.
Yeah.
So you go from there to Barnes and Noble. They don't have it, so you order whatever the book is on Amazon, and then you end up having a podcast episode, at 6 in the morning.
With crazy people at 6 a.m. in the morning, which you've probably been up since 5 and making sure you get your bean juice or bone juice, right? Beans or bone juice. Either one is critical. But again, I think we are in the same thing with Dave Feldman in the cholesterol code. I mean, is a low cholesterol good for making babies?
No, that is not.
It is not. And a statin. Are younger and younger people on statins, Dr. Nelson?
Absolutely.
And
Sadly.
Sadly, right. And this is crazy. So the baby's diet: bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt, 1 meal a day. Okay, 2 if you want. But what's the next step for you guys?
We have a transfer coming up at the beginning of next month in May.
So what dietary recommendations are all the doctors and nurses on the team suggesting?
On your team?
Isn't it amazing the difficulty for most practitioners to speak about keto and or carnivore on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do I inspire my team to mention the single most important thing, which is likely your diet?
Yeah. I think it's really crazy because for us, like when I feel like my skin is super clear, I feel like when you can physically see, I know you can't see the inside inflammation, but like you can see how somebody looks. And then people will ask us, like, what are you doing? How did you do that? And then we'll tell them. And then what I know when they say they're trying it, they're not, because the people, my friends that have tried it are like, this is amazing. They feel great. There's like a little bit of an adjustment period, but I would say it's a day and a half. I don't know. It's not anything crazy. So I really, like Daniel was saying earlier, I think it's not until we stumbled along it because we were prepping for fertility. And we've always been really extreme people. So I think that I think that it takes something that you really want, being like, okay, I will do, I'm sure women would come in and say, I will do anything to have a baby. And then, because I talk about this on my Instagram all the time. And when I say like, oh, what I'm doing, they're like, I can't do that. And I don't want to be like, well, then you're not doing everything, because there's a lot you can do at home. Like medicine can only like assist. It's like a tool. And I think I think a lot of times we want it to take over, but really so much is your diet and sleeping and being in the sun and looking back to how we used to live. All of this is going back to how like we were created and intended to live,
How does family still, have they adjusted to your way of eating, or are there members of the family that still comment on what you eat?
What was the question, Dr. Nelson?
Okay.
What do families still say at this? You've been eating carnivore, you said, for 2 years now. So are there people in your circle that still comment about how you're eating?
Crazy. Yeah. What do people around you sort of share about your craziness?
Well, okay, I'll take this one. I think there's 2 tracks. Maybe there's more than 2 tracks, but I think everyone by and large starts out on the my doctor gives me medicine that change is some sort of an outcome track. That's the track that everyone I think is on. And the extreme track, unfortunately, is I change something about my behavior to improve the outcomes that I see in my life. And so that I think is considered extreme. So I don't think it's that extreme, but the changing your diet to feel better, eating less of one thing and more of another thing to be fertile and have kids, I don't really think that that's very extreme, but I think unfortunately most people don't really buy that. So I don't know. I don't see it as extreme, but that's what it is. Like if we talk to friends or family or people that we meet who aren't in the same situation we're in, who haven't really had a struggle to overcome, the question is, why would I do anything different? So I don't know. I think unfortunately for most people, you have to get into a situation where you're really at the bottom of the barrel and you need an answer, and medication or the standard prescription isn't working to actually make a change. But the benefit there is that you actually you feel better and you have more autonomy and command over your life. And anyway, that's where we're at.
It is really it's really crazy how, everybody knows that we're prepping to have a child and do another transfer, and how like us saying that we will eat a certain way is insane. But like if I wanted to go have 7 frappuccinos a day, it would almost be like applauded. Like whatever you need. But if I'm like, oh, I need steak, they're like, that's crazy. Like it's like so reverse.
Dr. Kiltz, we have a couple questions. Actually, 2 to be specific.
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
Oh, me? Are you having
Yeah, we
me?
don't have any.
Yeah, we don't have any audio except for Kiltz.
Oh, weird. I'll ask Dr. Kiltz. Okay. How long does it take? You want to read it, Dr. Kiltz?
Well, give me the question. Oh, yeah. How long does it take for the effects of eating plants to be healed? What are the group of plants that have the longest damaging effects? Goiters, oxalates. Well, again, why some people get damaged by a mostly plant or some plants, nobody knows the answer. There must be some sort of environmental genetic predisposition. That's the mystery. I mean, I think when you go from a plant disease diet to a healthy, healing, meat-centric diet, it can be 2 to 4 weeks. It can be 2 to 4 months. It can be 2 to 4 years. It depends on how damaged you are. I see a lot of women and men with severely damaged ovaries or testicles that it is very hard, but not impossible. And I've seen people go from, they don't make any eggs to in 3 months they're pregnant and having a baby naturally on carnivore. So the stories, and I think this is where the most important part is, the stories of Katie and Dan are more important than the scientific journals, which are constantly arguing over a p-value as if we're a scientific experiment. But in fact, what is our likely biblical, ancient, savage way of living and eating? Hunt, kill, eat, make love, build families. That's it. That's it. That's our nature. And I think, Katie, when you said, what would you do to have a baby? And the answer is everything and anything. But most people are jumping to shot, kill, surgery and a doctor-directed plan, which, you've done IVF and haven't succeeded yet, right? And so tell me about this emotional, physical, financial hardship that isn't easy. How are you doing it?
It's not easy. It's the saddest thing we've ever gone through. But I really do think that having Daniel's been phenomenal, because I really think that you do need a partner that is with you on the same page. He eats whatever I eat. He really is we're doing this together. You know, I know it's my, the most of the toll, all the toll is on my body, but it's for our family. So it really is a team thing that we're doing. So that's been awesome. But I post a lot about infertility. Like really, that's all I post about on my Instagram, and I try to bring humor to it and bring light to it. But it really is so, it ends up just being the center of your world because you're on a cycle and you're so aware of every single thing and how you feel, and it's so emotional. And then because we're at childbearing years, everyone around us is of childbearing years, and there's, you know, people that get pregnant without trying. You're just reminded of it constantly. So to me, we're very all or nothing people. We want to put all of our cards down on the table and do everything that we can, you know? And I really like I've always lived like it's your job to do the possible, and so God can do the impossible. So I want to prep my body and our home and our time so we're setting up like the best case for a miracle to happen, you know?
Would you comment about your spiritual practice now that is adding to this? And I'm wondering if carnivore sort of opened up a more connection with your spiritual part.
We're Christian. Do you think that it has?
Not in like a back to nature kind of way, you know. But I think, you know, our belief is that I believe that God designed the game board and the players that go on that board to follow the same rules, right? And so I think that we've gotten socially, culturally, we've gotten into doing things as a matter of practice to our bodies that are not in, like, if you were to crack open the rules of that game again, you'd be like, hey, you know, why are we doing this? This isn't the rules of the game. So I think our bodies are not working in accordance with how they were designed to work. And I think that eating in a way that is inherently damaging to your body is it's an affront to your body because your body is sick.
Yeah.
And it's also not honoring to God because he gave us all the things that we need to live healthfully. So it's kind of a process for us of looking back at how can we do what's honoring to God, and the evidence of that is what is obviously most healthful for our bodies, because we are embodied people. So it's cool as you get healthier through what you do and how you live. We identify like what we should be doing, and that's cool. That connects very much the body to the spiritual practice.
Can I ask you, have you done a month of antibiotics?
Of antibiotics?
A month of
Yeah.
antibiotic and a fungal antibiotic.
Not a full month, no.
Have you done a laparoscopy or a hysteroscopy?
Is that the HSG?
Belly button surgery or
No.
Okay.
No.
Have you done a natural cycle transfer?
No, that's what we're I talked yesterday that we're doing.
Talk to me. We'll
Okay.
because you haven't. So here's the challenge. You are carnivore, but the gut is still infected and inflamed, which ultimately infects the uterus, tubes, ovaries, and cervix, which I believe is the biggest cause. Endometriosis. Ever heard of it?
Yes.
Could you have it?
If I did, it would be silent, I think. I have no.
Infertility silent.
No.
What is the screaming thing telling you? You have an itis or an osis. What's an itis or an osis mean, Dr. Nelson?
Inflammation.
And so if you're not having the normal function of a woman in reproductive years that makes 88 eggs, like the screaming world says, I have an itis or an osis, which is inflammation. So the fact that you haven't gotten pregnant, delivered a baby naturally, and or after embryo transfer says one thing. I still have an itis or nosis, but we have not given you the right opening. And I'm not sure how to scream it from the top of the mountain, but basically endometriosis and endometritis is infertility,
Yeah.
right? Uterine pelvic dysfunction. And this is where I say 30 days of Augmentin, Flagyl, Valtrex, Diflucan kill the mother bacteria, yeast, and viruses in the gut. Fatty meat, like a stick of butter a day, crazy, because butter does not mold, right? And then a hysteroscopy and a light clean out, and then a letrozole trigger and keep it simple. You get 31-day cycles,
Yeah.
not 28-day cycles.
No, 31.
Have you ever done letrozole instead of Clomid?
No, I took it whenever we were doing the egg retrieval, but not on my own.
Right. Right. And so I'm just throwing some really crazy ideas that we miss. I mean, my problem is most of my practitioners are like all other practitioners of the world who think the healthiest diet is what?
Moderation.
Right. And balance of lean meat and lots of plants.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm sure my team has not shared why the baby's diet is the most important diet. Technically, they haven't.
Yeah.
Right? And how did you learn about carnivore and the baby's diet?
From
Online.
yeah, you were on a podcast Daniel listened to, and then he came home and he was like, I want to do this.
Right. And so to me, the fact that you have not delivered a baby is the fact that you still have an itis and a nosis, endometritis, endometriosis, inflammation. And this is where I think a month of the antimicrobial, a month of the anti-endometriosis, stay carnivore, and then do a letrozole more natural trigger transfer, maybe with the immune protocols. I don't know if you've seen, do you have a copy of the family building guide?
No, I don't believe so.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. So, Alia.
Yeah.
Do you see my problem?
Yes, I see the problem.
Okay.
You can get it. It's a free download on the CNY website. If you can't,
Right,
I'll find it for you.
But nobody sees it.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Nobody sees it because the people that are marketing it, you and I, are missing the mission.
Yeah.
And so I'm really glad Katie and Daniel are here today because really it's wakening us all up. Because what's the most important thing in the universe, Dr. Nelson?
He's not here. Oh.
It's a baby.
It's
either a baby or a steak.
It's Julia with a G, and your baby. You already have some names for your babies?
Yeah, we've been over this 1,000 times.
I would do a letrozole trigger, keep it simple, carnivore, but I would do the month, and I would do at least a hysteroscopy. But interesting enough, laparoscopies sometimes kill people also. So I want to make sure that you know the way that maybe, how many times have we spoken?
We met before our once on the phone for my first consult, and then once on the day of my transfer.
Yeah.
I met you in the office, in the Syracuse office upstairs.
Yes, and you're right. That was back in March of last year.
That was last year, March of last year.
Right on. And so, again, you're doing everything in the right direction, and you visualize the baby first because faith is always first, and never stop trying. But you're not trying, you're doing, and you visualize the baby in your arms. And I'd say that we just got to simplify it. And
Yeah.
I would do a month and I would do a month of both of those things and get a hysteroscopy, consider a laparoscopy. And again, it's a little bit of intervention, but it hasn't worked yet the way God has intended, has it?
No.
No. You're going in the right direction, but we have not gotten you there because nobody has a copy of the Family Building Guide, Alia.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody. And,
Yeah.
and you have a copy of the Kiltz Keto Carnivore or the Baby's Diet books.
I have the Baby's Diet books,
Okay. Paper or digital?
the paper one.
Okay. How did you find that?
I asked if I could take it from your office.
All right.
Great.
So, but
Yeah.
did you know about it without it being there?
I knew about the Baby's Diet from you before we, that's how we found CNY, because we knew about the Baby's Diet first.
But not the book.
But not the book.
At the office.
Yeah.
So our mission, Alia,
Yeah.
and that's why things are changing in my world. I'm about to break it apart and like crazy because what we're doing ain't working.
Right.
Because everyone has to have a free copy digitally of all these books in their hands. But if they don't see it, whose fault is it?
Ours.
Mine. But it is crazy. And ultimately a laparoscopy, hysteroscopy helps a lot of people.
Okay.
The antimicrobial helps and the anti-endo medical treatment helps. And then simplifying a transfer. Letrozole trigger transfer, scrap all the meds.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nicer?
Yeah. I think I don't take, well, I don't really get sick where I've never been a run to the doctor meds person. So this has been the most meds I've been on obviously ever in my life, but I'm not even an ibuprofen Tylenol when I get a headache, girl. I really am like, if I have a headache, I'm not drinking enough water. Like we do a lot with our diet. So I was wondering about doing the more natural cycle because I feel like for my body, I mean, not everybody's body, but my body specifically, that it makes more sense that for my body to produce the hormones naturally would be what helps.
Flattered, fed, and made love to. The 3 F's. That's it. And ultimately, letting go and giving it up to God is number 1, but it's fatty meat, faith, and making love. That's it.
Yeah.
Visualize that baby in your arms like so clearly. So clearly. That's the magic.
Yeah.
And give it up to God. But I would say I would do the antimicrobial. I would do the hysteroscopy. I would do the either Provera or Northindrone or Lupron, or also my Fibrin, but for 1 month.
Okay.
And then I would probably still do letrozole in you, do an ultrasound trigger shot, keep it easy.
Okay.
And my job is to make it so easy. So easy.
Okay.
It's too costly and too hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
It really is.
But the struggles are part of the plan. And we're all here today and every day to say, okay, what can we do to make it differently?
Yeah. Dr. Kiltz, I just tell you something cool. So I took care last year. I took some time off and I moved to Pittsburgh before we both moved down here. And I took care of my grandmother before she passed away. She was on hospice. I came home to take care of her.
Bless you.
And she, that's when I first talked to you. I don't know if you remember this. So she was telling me that I needed to get like a new doctor and I needed to ask for help, that somebody had to help me, like right before she passed away. And I was really upset because the trade that we were baking whenever people would leave the room is she was going to go to heaven, ask for a baby and put one in. So I was really, I know that's not how it works, but that was our grandmother deal.
Works that way. Look at this is the amazing story because my daughter also had some issues. We took out a big fibroid caused by goitrogens, banked some embryos, and voila, baby.
Yeah.
Actually, carnivore.
Yeah. So I reached out to you. I was really upset. I was like, I don't need help. I don't need to find a doctor. And then I prayed to God. I said, okay, if you want me to get assistance and you need me to have help, I'm going to reach out to this guy, which is you. And if he calls me back, then I will know that he's the right doctor. And I swear we were pulling into my grandmother's funeral and you answered the phone. There was a New York number on the phone and I was like, I think this is Dr. Kiltz, which was insane because I reached out to you via Instagram with my phone number. And you're like, is this Caitlin? This is Dr. Kiltz. I would like to help you. Like as we're pulling in. So it was,
Aw.
I really do know that we're with the right doctor at the right practice. It's really, it has felt, even though we don't have the child in our arms, like
Yet.
I know that something divine like is happening.
What's your grandmother's name?
Carol.
So Carol is, and Carol's really here to drive this as a home run. And you guys are young and healthy and fertile, and you've done all the right work. It's the challenge is to keep going in the hardships that he gives us. And I think Easter we went through the crucifixion and the resurrection. It's the mathematical formula. Words and thoughts are mathematical energy that builds babies and builds your family.
Yeah.
And I have one beautiful child that has her first of 10 grandchildren, maybe, or at least 2. God. And again, I'm putting some notes in that I recommend. And again, all of us are on the same journey. And I know all of our brothers and sisters having children and children and children. The only thing that matters are our grandchildren. That's it. And you guys are young. I'm young. And this keto carnivore world is radical. Radical. Yeah. And do we have any other last minute 1 or 2 questions, or do you have any other questions for me, Katie or Dan?
Will you put that in my chart or should I have to call in?
I got it.
Okay.
People text me, call me all the time. I've never met them. I don't know who they are, but I will answer them. And because
I do have a question for you about metformin, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I was told I have insulin resistance, and so I got a glucose monitor, and I'm on 1,500 milligrams of metformin, but I'm not eating any carbs, so I'm like, my glucose is really dipping. Like at night, it goes between 40 and 50. Like it beeps all night. And I'm wondering so I kind of stopped like taking it. And now my glucose is like the metformin. And now it's taking, because I started taking it with the carnivore and I'm like, my hair is shedding, but I also don't know if that's.
I hate it.
Okay.
That. I don't use it. Dr. Corley loves it. I hate it. And basically, I think the problem is we're over treating with all these drugs, and we're going to be ending here soon. But why don't you hang on? And if you don't mind, I give you my directions. And again, go to Kiltz Health, CNY Fertility, all of these things that we're learning and sharing together as one. Hit the button, Ollie, while we're talking. And ultimately, the most important